That guy said it all. It is SportsCenter on your television. Nicole Briscoe, John Anderson, thanks for having us. So winning a national title, right, that's nice.
Good.
But in this case, it's Minnesota nice.
This game went exactly as this season went for South Carolina, wire to wire. They were the #1 team in the regular season. They finished this season as they started it. #1 national champs, Al Duncan anchoring a coverage. Take it away, girl.
Thank you so much, John and Nicole. There she is, Aaliyah Boston, the first person in the women's basketball history to win Naismith Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. You just heard her talk with Holly about what it looked like, the pain on her face after the heartbreak in the Final Four just a season ago against Stanford, and her redemption song tonight, Tears of Joy, the difference and the agony. South Carolina, national champions for the second time in school history. We had talked so much, Carolyn Peck and Nikki Fargas, about Gino Auriemma and his perfect 11-0 record in the national championship. But you know what? What we didn't know is that UConn tonight was going to have a date with destiny. You like that?
I did.
Okay. Let's just talk about Destiny Henderson, because we're not showing her on the screen right now. But she was an absolute revelation, almost willing this team to a win here tonight.
Destiny Henderson, 26 points. She just took over. The one thing that we talked about in the pregame show after they beat Louisville was the guards had to play well in order for South Carolina to win a national championship. We knew they were going to dominate the paint. We knew they were going to dominate the glass. But for Destiny Henderson to step up like she did, that was amazing. It was amazing to see Destiny control the entire tempo of the game. She was under control. She played with great poise, and she was able to not only facilitate for her offensively, but she was also to handle the pressure when UConn was really trying to make their run. You saw that they wanted the ball in her hands every single time because Dawn wanted to run specific play action to get specific players the basketball.
And how about Henderson on the defensive end of the floor?
Yeah.
I mean, Connecticut's success when they were able to make runs was led by Paige Beckers. And Henderson did such a great job when she would get rid of the ball, not letting her get it back. Think about the energy she was extending on the defensive end of the floor, and then able to still be as productive and as fierce and as fast as she was offensively. Incredible performance.
It's incredible as well, because again, sort of in the build-up to this, and maybe if there was one concern for a team who has dominated, right, in D1 this year, it was the guards and whether they could score. And that was a question. And we had felt maybe a little bit of that pressure had been alleviated over the last couple of rounds, where we saw how big they stepped up, not only in Louisville, but also in the Elite Eight. But were you expecting to see Destiny Henderson to have that kind of night, to see Zia Cook have that kind of night here on the Sports Night?
What I wasn't expecting was for the game to start the way it did, and for South Carolina just come out and pound and pound and pound and get offensive rebound after offensive rebound. Usually there's some nerves. The first 5 minutes of a championship game, they did not look like they had nerves at all. It looked to me like they were going to be a team who said, all right, we are going to play this way, impose our will on the game. And Connecticut took a step back from it. I mean, South Carolina came out from the jump and said, this is our championship to win.
And we know that basketball in general is a game of runs, and specifically, right, this matchup. We saw it back in November, CP. You called that game. You talked about what happened. UConn came out really strong, and then it was South Carolina that started turning them over. They go on that 23-5 run. They end up winning that game in a rout. But it seems as though every single time UConn would make that gap just a little bit closer, every time they'd go on a run, South Carolina had so much poise. They never panicked.
The thing about South Carolina is they peaked at the right time.
Yeah.
When they got to the Sweet 16, they had a great defensive game. Ball wasn't going in the hole. They didn't shoot it extremely well. And I remember Steffi Sorensen interviewed Dawn Staley, and Dawn said, listen, experts, you see my defense, but you question my offense. She said, but in the right time, those shots are going to fall. And from that point on, from the Sweet 16 to the Elite Eight to the semifinals till tonight, Dawn Staley had a vision and knew what her team was capable of, and that they were going to do it at the right time.
And one of the reasons I think the fast start was so important, Dawn Staley was able to go to her bench a little bit earlier than she has been. And as a result, they could continue to be relentless because they never had to get tired. Wave after wave of player came in, another big player, another good guard. So for the entire game, they were able to put that pressure on. Defensively, they were able to put that pressure on, attacking the offensive glass because they were fresh and had body after body, All-American after All-American who could come in and contribute.
But the pressure was not just in the half court. You saw Dawn go to her press, and to me, that is going to exhaust an offensive team a little bit more, because now you got to go 94 feet, and now you're going against trapping. And she was able to change the pace of the game by eliminating UConn to have a lot of time on the shot clock. If you look, there were times where the shot clock was going down, 10, 9, 8. And UConn offense struggled a little bit because it was rushed, because they were eating up so much time with their pressure full court.
Well,
the two things that you all talked about, the fatigue factor. And Dawn being able to go to her bench, the press takes a lot out of you. I did that first game in the Bahamas, and that's one of the things that Gino Ariema has talked about in the fourth quarter. He said, we were just exhausted because South Carolina just keeps wearing on you and wearing on you and wearing on you. In the fourth quarter, they really didn't have anything left.
You see right now that the team is making their way onto the stage. Dawn Staley, they're trying to collect her. We're going to get ready for the trophy presentation. We talk about Dawn Staley and what she's been able to do, winning the national championship in 2017. Many people believe they probably would have won it in 2020. We can't play the what-if game, but of course, that tournament was canceled because of COVID. We heard some of Dawn talking about, the staff talking about. They felt like they were in control that year, and to be able to do this after dominating all year long, incredible. Now Dawn Staley becomes just the sixth coach in women's basketball history to win more than one national championship. And there they are on the stage. The fans are still here. This place is, listen, I'm going to say, I thought, and I said it in the pregame show, it's probably going to be a pro-UConn crowd because of Paige Beckers and her connection to Minnesota. And honestly, based on what we saw on Friday in the semifinals, this was a very big South Carolina crowd. They are still here cheering on their Gamecocks.
And they certainly had a lot to cheer about today. They felt like this section was standing the entire second half.
All right, let's get it down to Holly Rowe right now as we get ready for the trophy presentation. Followed by that, we'll do the cutting of the nets. So we'll get it down to Holly right now on the court.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for our trophy presentation tonight.
That's my idol right there.
We are so excited to be back in person celebrating these young women who worked so hard. First and foremost, we would like to bring in Coach Dawn Staley. And Coach Staley, this felt like it was a long time coming, but what is delayed is not denied. How did your team find the patience to not quit and finally reach this summit tonight?
First, I got to give, I have to give glory to God. Glory to God. I think people don't really understand that our path was divinely ordered. And the order was for us to be national champions on this day. On this day. The fight. Our team had the fight of champions all season long. All season long. And I do have to give a real good shout out to our players who don't get in the game a whole lot. We had 16 players, probably 7 or 8 of them prepared us. They prepared us for UConn. They prepared us for Louisville. They prepared us for Creighton. And they don't get the shine, but I'm going to give them the shine right now. So thank you all. E-O, Anaya, Lee, who we got? Sanaya, everyone, because I think a lot of times we got the National Player of the Year. We got great talent on our team, and they get overshadowed. So I just want to say thank you all. Thank you all for sharing and accepting roles that aren't favorable.
Coach, this was a good game. Several times UConn came back in, pulled within one. How did your team keep extending the lead, and making this so difficult?
UConn is a great UConn is not only a great team, they're a great tradition. They're a part of our women's basketball history that you really can't take that away from them. But again, today, order. It was divinely ordered for us to be champions today. We weren't going to be denied. We were going to play it every possession like it was our last possession. And I know our players are super exhausted, but they were determined to be champions today.
Second national championship for Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks, and we couldn't have done it tonight without the most outstanding player. She picked up every other award in America this week, so she might as well have this one too. Aaliyah Edwards, your 2022 most outstanding player. Aaliyah Boston, I'm sorry, Aaliyah Boston. I said Aaliyah Boston, I fixed it. Come on over.
I'll take it, it's all
She'll
right.
take it, you know who I meant, I'm sorry. This has been a difficult challenge for you all year. You have had so many people double, triple teaming you all the time. How have you been able to fight through all that and show the patience that you worked on?
I mean, a lot of it just come from my teammates. They're going in positions and helping me be able to see them so I can make the right pass.
Your teammates have been there behind you all the way. They worked so hard to try to get you the ball and support you in these moments. How did you support them and lean on them tonight?
I mean, I just tried to do everything I can, especially on the defensive end, and just be there.
Your parents are here. I know your mom and dad, Al and Cleone, they've sacrificed so much. I see mom right here. Your auntie Jennaire, who helped you and raised you, you got to go live with her. What do you say to your family who has given so much for you to be in, your sister Alexis, to be in this moment?
I just want to say thank you guys for all the sacrifices that you've made and for being able to travel to Minnesota to watch me play, because now I'm a national champion.
Thank you so much, Aaliyah. Yes, please.
Hey, Candace Parker, I'd like to say hi. I love you, girl.
She's giving you the I love you sign. I see her right here. All right, so now to do the real business. Thank you, Aaliyah Boston. I'm sorry for that mistake. Forgive me,
right.
please. You know I love you,
It's all
right?
right.
Okay, thank you. Now I want to introduce the president of the NCAA, Dr. Mark Emmert, our vice president of women's basketball, Lynn Holzman, and our athletic director from Duke, also the committee chair for women's basketball this year, Nina King. Please come on up and let's do the business. And now to present the championship trophy to your 2022 South Carolina Gamecocks, Mark Emmert.
First of all, I want to thank the city of Minneapolis for hosting this amazing championship. They've done an incredible job. All the fans that have been here, especially these Gamecock fans, what an electric environment. But most importantly, congratulations to this year's national championship, the University of South Carolina Gamecocks.
Go Cox! Yeah! Go Cox, Coach. Coach, you want this? Come on, Coach.
Don't let her fall out.
Yeah, don't drop it, don't drop it.
Okay, don't go anywhere because they were so good, we're giving them more trophies. Now to present our WBCA Coaches Trophy. This is going to be presented by Invesco QQQ. Here is the Executive Director of the WBCA, Danielle Donahue. Danielle? Wow.
Like a chandelier.
Yeah, we're ready.
Chandelier.
Okay.
Wow.
Please help me in also recognizing Gino Auriemma and the UConn Huskies on a remarkable season. But tonight belongs to Dawn Staley And the South Carolina Gamecocks, congratulations on your second national title. And it's my pleasure to award the Invesco QQQ WBCA Coaches Trophy to Coach Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks.
They don't want any part of that, and they know you've never turned it over in your life, so give that back. Well, we'd like to thank all of the fans who've come out. This was a sold-out crowd, an unbelievable environment. So many of you here. We just thank you for your support and your love of women's basketball. And ladies and gentlemen, let's celebrate one more time the incredible, the incomparable 2022 national champions, the South Carolina Gamecocks.
So there it is, the trophy presentation to the national champions. They were #1 all year long, every single week, and here they are with the trophy, with the title, and very soon we'll be cutting down the nets. Let's stick it there with Dawn Staley for a second, since they were just talking about her. As our coaches here on the set, Carolyn Peck and Nikki Fargas, put into perspective, we talk a lot about what this legacy, a win like this, what would it do for Dawn Staley's legacy? She now joins just Gino Auriemma as the only coaches ever, right, to coach the Olympic team to a gold medal, and then next year took a team to the title and the national championship. We also mentioned how hard it is. You won one, Carolyn Peck, how hard it is to win two. What do you make of that smile on Dawn Staley's face?
Well, like you said, how hard it is to win the first one, and then to go after and really live up to the expectations puts that additional pressure. But what Dawn has done is she has set a standard in Columbia, South Carolina. When you come to Columbia, South Carolina, the expectation is that you are playing for a national championship, not just to participate, not to finish in the top 4, but to win a championship. It's a mentality that she has instilled, not only in her players, but in her community. They have led the nation in attendance for now the last 8 years. Now
the fans, they're called fans.
The fans. And they are here in Minneapolis. And when you build that kind of culture, that's where kids want to come, because they want to play in front of a big crowd.
You know, I was fortunate to play for the great Pat Summitt, and obviously we won 8 titles. And it's not an easy thing to do. It really isn't. It's not easy to win 1. It's not easy to win 2. It definitely isn't easy what Gino has done in winning 11. But I will say this about Dawn Staley, having played against her in college, the teams that she coaches and have coached, they take the personality on of her.
Of course.
And you can see how she can come at them and she can challenge them, and they respond because she's been there and done it and been in their shoes, so she's able to speak to it. So when you're watching her also practice or in practice, she's out there demoing and talking them through what it's going to take to win a title, because physically she was able to win at the elite level. So to have a coach that was a player and a coach that also won an Olympian and played with you, Rebecca, I mean, this is something that's really special for her to do this at this level and this stage of her life.
That's exactly what I was going to ask, Rebecca. I mean, you played with her on the national team. How has her personality as a player informed the kind of coach she is?
Well, she was feisty. She was feisty as a player, and she kept everybody accountable, even as a teammate. And what's impressed me talking to Dawn throughout the season, then in this tournament, is it's always been about the players.
Yep.
It's always been about the players. You know, she wanted unfinished business for the players. You know, that the gods weren't smiling on them last year, and how much she hurt for Aaliyah Boston last year, and how the season ended for that team. And every player from that team returned, and that conversation continued this year about the players. Even when we heard her on the podium, the first thing she said was, thanking all of the players who don't get the shine, those who don't get all of the minutes on the court. So she keeps the attention in a lot of ways where it belongs. It could easily go to Dawn Staley and what she's built and what she's done and success she's had, and she brings it back to the players. And I think that's what the great coaches do, is they want that moment not for themselves, they want it for their teams.
I love what she said yesterday when we were here for the All Access practice and Holly was talking to her. She called herself a dream merchant. And I just thought that was really interesting. And Holly said, explain what a dream merchant is, right? And she said it's just someone who wants the best for other people, that wants to help steward them to what their dreams are. So she wants to identify what that dream looks like for her players and make sure that that's what they accomplish, whether it be personal, whether it be as a team. And she has certainly shepherded her team to now the national title. It's just really incredible to see the emotion on Aaliyah Boston. You gotta love that, Rebecca. The turn of events for Aaliyah. She said it in her post-game interview. Like, I was crying, like ugly crying on TV, and it was everywhere. And now she's crying tears of joy. Just your thoughts as you watch these girls, knowing their dream has been fulfilled, a dream that has been fulfilled for all of you on this stage as well.
Well, they're forever national champions.
Yeah.
They are forever national champions, and no matter what happens going down the line in the future, when they return, they will be known to their fans as national champions. And for some of the players, this can be a little bit life-changing. I mean, Destiny Henderson, assuming she does not return for another year and enters the WNBA draft as we all expect her to, what a way to go out.
Yeah.
What a way to go out, and what a way to show what kind of a leader she is and what kind of a baller she is. I mean, it's the kind of moment that very few people get to experience. It's something that stays with you forever. Forever, these women will be known as national champions.
How about this? Destiny Henderson, you talk about stepping up in big moments. The first player since the year 2000, and it could have been sooner, we just can't track before 2000. First player since the year 2000 to have a career high in a title game. Like, unbelievable. When there are nerves, when there's so much at stake, when you've heard media say that your offense is a problem or how much pressure will be on you, when you have Aaliyah Boston that you're sure to show up in the biggest moment and show out that way. Just an incredible ending to Rebecca's point if she decides she's moving on.
Well, with Destiny Henderson, I cover the Southeastern Conference, and she did that a couple of years ago in the SEC tournament. Big moments, that's the perfect time for Destiny Henderson. You know, she never changes her expression. She is cool, calm, and collected. She can go fast, she can go slow. And so playing with that kind of poise and all, a person that has their emotions in check, when the moment gets bigger, that's when she's at her best.
It looked like she was having fun.
Yeah.
She was just playing the game at such an easy and competitive pace, and she was doing it multiple ways. Defensively, we alluded to that, but she allowed the offense to come to her. There was nothing rushed. There was nothing that she did that was a bad shot. She was reading the defense. She was taking what they were giving her, and the shot selection for Destiny Henderson in this game, I mean, I'm giving her an A+. I've seen where guards have tried to force the action, but she definitely didn't do that tonight. And the fact that she said, you know what, on the defensive end, I'm going to turn it up there too, but that gives you confidence to do what she did on the offensive end. I also want to mention this because Dawn Staley also gives a lot of credit to her assistant coaches. And when you don't have that turnover, you know, as a former coach, you don't have that turnover in your assistants, they understand her system as well. So great job, Lisa, Fred, Jolette Law. I mean, you still have to have coaches that can also, when the players come off the bench, come out of the game and they're on the bench, who is in their ear? Who's talking to them to get them ready to go when it's their time to be subbed back in or subbed out?
And that's one of the things Destiny Henderson told us before the Final Four started. She said Coach Law is often in her ear reminding her, you're one of the best guards in the country. You're one of the best guards in the country. And certainly she helped prove that again today. And I'm looking at this box score. Aaliyah Boston with 11 points. If somebody had said to you, you know, how do you think this game's going to turn out? If Aaliyah Boston has 11 points, you wouldn't necessarily say it would be a 15-point South Carolina victory. South Carolina, the Gamecocks, certainly proved that they are a lot more than their incredibly talented player of the year.
I'm looking at the box score too. There's a lot of numbers that really jump out at me right now. I would say rebounding, right? How many times did you guys belabor the point that rebounding was going to be huge in this game? South Carolina, 49 rebounds to UConn's 24 rebounds. They got to the free throw line. If you're UConn, and when Gino Auriemma undoubtedly goes back and looks at this tape, where will he say he was dominated the most?
Oh, in the paint, offensive rebounds, because South Carolina had 21 offensive rebounds to Connecticut's 6. And so that's an area where Connecticut's got to go, okay, were we over-rotating? Do we need to box out better? Because South Carolina was just relentless, creating opportunities to get those second chance points.
You see that they are now cutting down the nets. As again, they are the national champion, South Carolina. Just soaking it all in. The fans still here in attendance at the Target Center. And again, I want to go back to UConn for a second there, Rebecca. AZ Fudd. I'm sure that he is being asked about this right now in the press conferences. I know that he alluded to the fact that she was sick, that there were some issues with that. She wasn't feeling good. We didn't see much of her. From the UConn perspective, where would you say is the most sort of glaring hole for them? And where was this game lost for them?
They just didn't have enough horses inside. Yeah. They just didn't have enough size. They didn't have enough horses. And nothing against Aaliyah Edwards, nothing against Olivia Nelson-Adota. There was time after time where I'm sure Coach Auriemma was saying to them, you got to box out and go get the board. That's a lot easier said than done. We saw the one replay of Camila Cardozo. When the shot went up, she was at the three-point line, and she just went and pursued the basketball. South Carolina was in pursuit mode on the offensive glass all game long. Their bigs, their guards. UConn just did not have the people to keep them off the glass. South Carolina simply the better team.
Now, we certainly knew that there were going to be some issues, especially in the post after Uhas goes down. By the way, UConn saying that Dorka has said she will come back and exercise that extra year of eligibility. Did you feel like we saw in the first quarter Paige really was not a factor? She really asserted herself in that second quarter, bridged that gap, got UConn within 8 at the half. Seemed to me that in the third and fourth quarter, again, she sort of deferred to her teammates a little bit too much. How do you think Paige will feel about her performance today based on how assertive and aggressive she was?
I don't necessarily think she was deferring to her teammates as much as South Carolina's defense were taking her away from what she wanted to do, because all the shots that she made in the first half were tough shots. They were tough shots, and she was making something out of nothing. So, and, this is a game where a lot of UConn guards struggled. AZ Fudd was not feeling well. Yeah. Avina Westbrook had some moments, but had some struggles. Kristen Williams. South Carolina's defense simply was able to overpower them, overquick them, and shut them down. So I think all of the credit in the world for everything that happened in this game, offensive boards, Connecticut's inefficiency at times on offense, all due to what South Carolina was doing out there.
Well, you pointed out Destiny Henderson. Yeah, she had a great offensive night, but Destiny Henderson was on Paige Beckers. When she defended Paige Beckers was 1 for 5 from the floor. So now, okay, that's guarding Beckers. Then you have Bree Bill, who guarded Haley Van Lith against Louisville. She was on Kristen Williams today. And then Zaya Cook had the responsibility of AZ Fudd or Avina Westbrook when she came in the game. The perimeter defense and the switching. The switching, you had times have post players on guard. South Carolina's post players were able to handle the switches and really contest and make tough shots. In the first quarter, you cannot be down 22-8. That is a tough battle for you. So what you're going to do, you're going to always feel like, I've got to do something special. I got to go on the run. The game is a game of runs, and that was a big deficit for Connecticut to come back from. Ball security. To me, you can't give a South Carolina these live ball turnovers. They were in the first quarter, when you look at this first quarter only, the rest of the quarters, okay, it was a little evenly matched as far as taking care of the basketball, doing a much better job rebounding. But in the first quarter, again, you had turnovers that led to scores. You had offensive rebounds that led to scores. You got to control that. That is something that you, as a basketball player, yes, I'm over here dribbling right now.
Yeah, she is.
But you, as a basketball player, you got to know, I can't just spot a team like South Carolina
those easy possessions.
Especially when you have a short bench. Because it takes a lot out of you to come back. And then when you don't have the bodies to go to, makes it that much harder.
We also saw Westbrook favoring her ankle even during the game, and when she was walking off, she was limping. It's, again, we keep looking at this box score, and UConn shot better than South Carolina, right? But it's those second chance opportunities. 22 second chance points for South Carolina to just 5 for UConn. And again, Aaliyah Boston finished the tournament averaging 16.8 points a game and over 15 rebounds per game. First player to do that in the tournament for a national champion. An incredible performance. As you see that South Carolina is cutting down the nets. The championship net is actually brought to you by Werner Ladder. The good news is we're going to be joined on set by some of the key figures from the Don Staley is supposed to join us on set. We expect to talk to Aaliyah Boston. We expect to talk to Destiny Henderson here on the stage as well. Where do we go from here? I mean, you're talking about a dynasty, or at least trying to build one. Don talked about that as well. To be like a Gino Auriemma, to build a dynasty, you have to be consistent. When you look at this South Carolina team, how poised are they to make another run at this?
I think they're certainly poised. You would imagine they would be the preseason #1 team. Hey, they're returning Aaliyah Boston as a senior. They're returning Bree Beal, Zia Cook. They've got a great crop of freshmen, the #1 recruiting class in college this season. They will be the favorite entering next year. And now they have the experience of being here and knowing how to win it all. And there's a lot to be said for that as well.
One of their top recruits didn't even play this season. Raven Johnson went down with a knee injury, so that they have her coming back as well. They've got top recruits coming in. I mean, that just feeder system of continuing to replace talent with talent. And it's not just talent on the number, like ranking-wise. The women they bring in can play. And like Destiny Henderson, when she came in and had to play behind Ty Harris, but that was a great person to learn from. Just like this class that are juniors right now, learning from a Destiny Henderson, a Victoria Saxon. Like when you can keep having those mentors ahead of you, that's how you continue to stay successful.
Yeah, but there's got to be this buy-in, right? You got to buy into your role on the team. And Dawn talked about and acknowledged those who really did that. And so great job for getting the whole team involved.
And again, making her way to our stage right now, Destiny Henderson, who was an entire vibe, movement, had an entire moment today in the national championship as South Carolina gets their second natty in program history. Don Staley, just the 7th D1 head coach to win multiple national championships. We're going to get her mic. Does she have a mic? We're going to get her mic'd up. We'll let you know.
Oh, we got to
Aaliyah Boston right now cutting down her portion of the net. And we're going to expect to talk to Aaliyah here in just a minute when she is done. But for now, let's bring in Destiny. Anything is possible, Henderson. Just an outstanding performance. You are the first person since 2000 and maybe before then, Destiny, to have a career high in a title game. What got into you tonight?
I just feel like I had to be a dog offensively as well as defensively. My teammate found me open positions to shoot the ball, and I just let it fly.
Can we get her a chair?
Are you
I'm
tired?
good. No,
You good?
my momentum's still going.
Yeah.
I'm good.
How were you able, your team, usually in a national championship game, teams have a little bit of nerves. UK guys came out from the jump and imposed your will on this game. How were you able to do that?
We knew we had to come out with fire. Early on in the season, we played them, and the game was really close. So we knew we had to hit first, and that's what we came out to do. We played with a lot of energy, a lot of momentum, and it just carried on all 4 quarters.
Destiny, how proud of you. How does it make you feel? I mean, you're a national champion, and this is the second one for Dawn Staley.
Yes. First and foremost, Dawn Staley, she deserves it. She's the best coach that ever crossed my path, and I'm so blessed to have her as a coach, and I'm going to miss her. Try not to get emotional. But just for us to be in this moment, we've been working hard since day one, and we fell short last year. We knew we had to come out with a bang this year and just get over that hump because we've been there before. So we just had to play with fire and momentum and just trusting each other, and that's what we did.
Well, you got somebody behind you here.
My road dog.
Knowing that you have, and you are playing with arguably one of the best centers to play the game, you're able to go out and obviously, great job. Great job. I'm going to talk about her right now.
As you should.
All right. But when you have a player this dominant in the post game, everybody's like always saying, get a lead of the ball, get a lead of the ball. Talk about when you know it's time for destiny time, when it's time for you to take over.
I feel like she's so dominant inside. She drags so much attention inside. So it's hard for teams not to double, and especially off a shooter like me, I'm going to shoot it, and that's what I was doing tonight.
Paige Buckets in her hometown shot 1 of 5 when you were defending her. How serious did you take that mission to shut down Paige Buckets tonight?
I knew I had a task on my hands. I knew I had to come out offensively as well as defensively. And I knew I was going to get tired, but I had to keep fighting through. Defensively, I just knew I had to use my speed and just to stay with her because I know she liked to shoot. So, and I know a lot of the assists they're looking for too. So I just had to be ready, and even if I got lost, just to stay in the play and use my speed.
I have to tell her what I said because she couldn't have heard it, and I was so proud of it. I said, UConn was undefeated in national championship, but unfortunately, they had a date with destiny. Let's go, Destiny. Right?
I like that.
Thank you. Can I get that? I've got zero talent like you, but I can do those things.
Aaliyah, what was it like for you, especially early in the game, because you draw so much defensive attention, when you see your guards, Destiny in particular, able to hit their shots, take some of that pressure off? What was that like for you early in this one?
I mean, it was great. I mean, I was just trying to make sure I was able to make the right pass at the right time and understand when I needed to attack. But Henny scoring the ball as well as she did and hitting the outside shots, I mean, it opened up the game for us. I mean, they knew that they had to find her quickly or else she was going to let another one fly and hit it.
Aaliyah, you talked about just now at the end of the game the difference in emotions between last year and this year. What does it feel like after what you experienced in the Final Four last year, that swing of emotions that you're feeling right now?
I mean, it feels amazing, and I think part of it is just because of how my photo was used, and I don't want to get too personal, but I mean, they used a sad photo to describe March Madness when I don't think that should have been the case. I think it should have been, yes, there are emotions, but when you use a video of me crying for a long period of time, it's like, that's going to fuel my fire. I'm going to use Bree's quote, that's on her shirts, by the way, y'all, bang. And I'm going to go on with that because I use that as fire. I don't want anyone to use a video of me crying ever again as a weak point when now you have a smile.
I was going to say, fueled your fire, Naismith Player of the Year, Naismith Defensive Player of the Year, Lisa Leslie Center Award, AP Player of the Year, Final Four Most Outstanding Player, Wade Trophy winner, SEC Player of the Year, SEC Defensive Player of the Year. That's what you did this year.
That's all God. That's all God, and I thank him for that.
Hey, but Leah, tell me about, okay, you had a checklist of goals of things that you wanted to accomplish. Do you remember what those were?
Honestly, my main goal coming into this season was win a national championship and be Naismith Player of the Year. And I kept that goal as kind of in the back of my head because, you know, Coach talks about don't let it be a distraction. Don't let personal goals be a distraction. And I think just our team and how many weapons that we have, it was the game just opened up and I was able to get those awards.
I'm going to ask you another question because I'm going to ask you about Henny. You've played with her for 3 years. She had to take a back seat and come off the bench, I think, your sophomore season, and then now in a starting role. How much and how proud are you of how she has grown throughout her career?
I'm so proud of Henny. I mean, she's our leader. She's our leader. I mean, she keeps us level-headed every time. She controls the pace of the game. She's a great defender, and honestly, without her, I mean, this team would be totally different. I'm just so happy to have her.
You have the ability to shoot the three, score the basketball, block shots. What else you don't do? I thought at one point you was going to be the point guard. But you also have a partner in crime on the other side of that block in Saxton. And you two together, I can't even imagine how people can compete on the board with you two.
I mean, it's hard because we take pride in that. I mean, we just want to rebound the ball. And even B as a defender, I mean, we're two different defenders, and I think it just keeps people on their toes because they're not sure how to pass the ball in because you're going to get one that plays in space, you're going to get one that's right on you, and so we're going to make it hard for them.
What's it like for both of you to share this moment with your loved ones and your family being here?
I mean, this one for the books. This is a special moment for us to take in, and we just been waiting for it since forever, since day one. And we're going to take this national championship back home, and we're just going to celebrate.
It feels amazing. I'm just so happy to be able to share it with everybody.
What do you want to say to the fans who are watching back in Columbia right now and couldn't be here?
Thank y'all for everything. Even if you didn't make the trip, we heard you every game in the CLA. You guys are the best fans in the country.
Yes, you've been supporting us since day one. We appreciate your support. Even if you're here or from afar, we appreciate it, we feel it, and we love you.
I do want to ask you really quickly, Aaliyah, because we heard you shout out Candace Parker. For those that don't know, what's the relationship with Candace?
I mean, I really just love Candace Parker. Honestly, I mean, growing up, I watched the WNBA and I watched her on the Sparks, and just seeing how tall she is, being able to do what she does on the court, I mean, I look up to her to this day, and people in interviews ask me, they're like, who's somebody that you try to model your game after? I'm like, Candace, automatic. I'm not there yet, but for sure her, because she can do everything.
Oh, you're getting there.
She would know. She knows Candace Parker.
Hey, but I got one more, because I saw you share a moment on the court with a dominant center of South Carolina that won the first national championship with Asia Wilson. What'd that mean for you to share that with her?
It was so special, and I think it just shows you the kind of family that South Carolina has, because Asia was here supporting us, dancing with us, and I mean, she started this all. She started it all.
Dawn Staley cutting down the net now.
I'm wondering, ladies, I see the nets are around your wrist right now. Have you figured out where you're going to keep your nets?
It's going to add to the collection on my wall.
Oh, the collection. Oh, so we expect more nets, Aaliyah. Okay, all right. I love that. We're actually going to talk to your coach in just a little bit. But again, just an incredible performance, an incredible season for you guys.
Thank you.
And not an easy one, because you had a marker on your back. AP #1, wire to wire. It's only happened a handful of times that a team was able to actually win that championship. And for you all to do that, knowing that everyone was coming for you, I think is really indicative of not only your poise, but also your focus. And that's what your coach kept saying. She was like, I have never been around a team this serious. They are about that business. And, well, destiny fulfilled. Okay, I'm done. I'll stop with the puns, Destiny. I'm just saying.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Go celebrate.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
All right, when we come back from break, we will have Dawn Staley join us right now. She's got so many accolades for her career, and now she becomes the first head coach in tournament history to beat Gino Auriemma in a national championship. South Carolina, your national champs. We are back here on SportsCenter, coming to you, hey, from the Target Center. Dawn Staley and her South Carolina Gamecocks just won their second national championship. And Dawn is joining us now here on set. We see you fit the love, the energy, you've been light. And your team came out here and seemed so poised. We talked about how calm and collected they were. Were you even surprised about the start of that game?
I wasn't. No? I wasn't. I saw the focus on Saturday. I saw the focus today and shoot around. Like, there are just certain things that coaches see in players and teams. And I felt especially great when Aaliyah it was pregame. She was like, we're ready. She said, we're ready. So I don't have to address anything in the locker room besides, what the game plan is. They brought everything else to the table. I just reiterated what the game plan was, and they did it. We didn't actually go to our game plan B. Like, Henny played Paige the entire game, and I don't think she wanted to do anything besides stay with that matchup, utilize her speed, and just try to make it difficult for her. And that's really, really hard to do against somebody like Paige.
Dawn, this is your second one. Which was harder, the first one or the second one?
This one was harder. This one was harder because, we had the target on our backs every single day of this season. And you just never know. Like, I thought we were the best team in the country throughout the season, but the best teams don't always end up winning the national championship. So we had to guard against all of those things. We had to guard against ourselves. We had to guard against what other people thought of our play from time to time. Listen, we don't know what a national championship team looks like. We only know that they win they score more points than the other team, and it's a tough team that they're playing.
Well, you showed me, Dawn. You had something in your pocket. You had it in your pocket the whole time.
I did.
What you got in there?
At the start of the NCAA tournament this year, I carried this in a mesh bag draped over my backpack. And today was the only time that I took it out. I took it out before I walked out here for the game. And I just wanted a constant reminder of how hard it is. And the fact that I shared this with so many other black coaches that they really don't believe that this can ever take place in their lifetime. But it can. Like, it really can. You know, you got to ride the wave when it's hot. I think we rode the wave when it's hot, and we're going to continue to do that. But in the meantime, people's national championship may not be, you know, hoisting a national championship trophy. Okay, it's getting a job. It's like being a head coach on a Division I level.
Right.
So that's national championship. That is being a dream merchant for young people, first generation college graduates. You know, that's what this signifies. So, you know, yes, I shared my national championship net because we won, but we won before we won. We won before we won because, you know, of who we have to care for every single day. So it's truly an incredible honor. Basketball has been just tremendous. Like I don't know my life without basketball. I do not know it. The life lessons, the hardships, you know, I think I'm socially apt because I was just singly focused on basketball. So I don't encourage anybody to take my path, but certainly when you become a coach, the responsibility of a coach is quite incredible. And that's why I was afraid of being a coach, because I didn't want the responsibility of 18 or 22-year-olds. But when I did, and when I leaned all the way in, I probably get more satisfaction than they do. Mm-hmm. And I'm living my passion.
Yeah. Dawn, you talk about responsibility, and you are a guardian of the game right now. I mean, I remember Carolyn when she was coaching at Purdue and she won, and I remember C. Vivian Stringer, and I remember you always saying they will be what they see. And you've been a great example for not only the women's game, but for all men and women. It's not just you as I've played women's basketball. Like, you are carrying this torch, and and you're a trailblazer. I don't care how many titles you win. I just want you to personally know that you have paved the way, and everybody's not going to be able to cut down nets, but their nets may look differently because of the platform that you continue to use to uplift this game, the real game, and that's the game of life.
Appreciate that, Nikki. Appreciate that. I just also want to add this part of it. This game is so special to so many people that I don't think we realize. We don't realize, you know, what it is. I'm going to continue to use my platform. I hope I set an example of when you treat women's basketball like a sport. It's so freaking fulfilling. Yeah. It's so freaking fulfilling. Like, and I'm talking to NCAA tournament people. When you invest in our tournament, like you invest in the men's tournament, I'm talking about, no, ESPN, you're going to get mad at me, but you need some competition. You need some competition, some network competition. That's what drives the money up. And that's what gives us our net worth in our game. And don't get me wrong, ESPN, you've done a great job. You continue to do a great job to give us a platform when nobody else wanted to give us a platform. I think we've arrived at a place where we can continue to grow and grow and grow and be fulfilling to the decision makers. Like, it's a fulfilling, incredible sport that when you lean in and lean in hard, your daughters, your sisters, your mothers can reap the benefit of you leaning in with us.
Dawn, you talked all season about unfinished business. what was it like for you to watch your players, Destiny Lee, all of them, have this moment of winning a national championship?
I'm happy for them. Like they sacrificed. Destiny Henderson sat for her first 2 years, didn't play a whole lot, and she just waited her turn. And now, I mean, I thought she was the MVP of today. Like I thought she was the player of the game today. And not a whole lot of young people would have the patience to finish this thing out. They would have, if I don't play my first year, I'm out of here. But the patience of her mother, because that's who it is. Miss James is the one that really kept her right here. She made the commitment. So Destiny Henderson wasn't going anywhere no matter what was happening, because they said, Coach, we believe in you. And it just makes me feel great inside, like super great inside for Aaliyah, you know, to turn those tears into happy tears, into a smile. All of them. Zaya Cook had a terrific game today. Victoria Saxton has done it. And our bench, I mean, they've been pretty darn solid, you know, all season long. But then the bottom of the bench, the bottom third, as they call them on the team, you know the sacrifice that they had to make. They did not play. They barely got reps because we got a practice squad. Hey, highlighters, that they did a great job. So they would sit on the sideline like, if we don't do three reps a group, they sat today when we only did two cycles of groups. So I'm happy for them because their sacrifice means a little bit more because we won.
Yeah, it's a team win. And because of Destiny Henderson's patience and the patience of her mom, she became the first person in 22 seasons to have a career high in a national title game. Incredible. She got incredibly emotional while talking about you and what you had meant to her as she is probably leaving the program. Don, we want to say thank you so much for your visibility, for giving us so much access. And congratulations, you are a national champion for the second time. What you gonna do? Like, what you gonna do? You gonna go kick it? I mean, you got a party?
I'm not sleeping tonight. I might even have me a little alcohol tonight.
Wait a minute, whoa! We can get to the bar. Congratulations, Coach. We fully expect that we will see you back here on this very big stage. Dawn Staley, national champion, becomes such the second head coach to ever lead a U.S. Olympic gold medaling team and then turn around the next year and do it at the college level as well. Dawn was so brilliant in talking about some of those role players that don't get love. And so while we say goodbye to you from Target Center, I have got to give a big shout out to two of our members that you will never see, Carter Roach and Jenny LaCroix, who have held us down time and time again. We love you. We thank you. We couldn't do this without you. That's it for us from here at the Target Center. We send it back to SportsCenter.
March Madness is officially here.
It's the first four for the first time.
68 teams will play for a chance at the national championship.
History made for the Bison. Their first NCAA tournament win.
We run on the edge and across the flames.
Belmont in double overtime. 2 words. March Madness. Triple-double for Olivia Miles. A giant three-pointer.
Brighton has pulled off the stunning upset.
We're knocking on walls. Now it's time to come back and knock the walls down.
Standing tall now.
I wouldn't trade anything that I went through to get to this point.
Coach Walls has built this program into something really special.
I'm going to do whatever I can to get him a national championship.
Beyonce's big, but Raina blows her away. I mean, come on.
We want to play every game like it's our last because it's win or go home.
For the tie! Gigantic! Teams getting trips to the Final Four!
Stanford will have a chance to defend their national championship.
The Final Four is here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Connecticut Huskies will play for a national title. Anderson Parks.
This is a kid who plays with all her soul.
Aaliyah Boston is ready to punch her ticket.
UC happy tears. We have one more game and we're not going home.
South Carolina and UConn will play for a national championship.